If someone had told me a millionaire could fall for a waitress and I'd be the one terrified of being loved right, I would have laughed her out of the booth. The bell over the door gave a weary chime as Cassandra slipped inside, the note quickly drowned by the drone of fluorescent tubes and a whisper of Elvis crooning from the jukebox in the corner. 3:07 a.m., the same cursed hour. Her eyes refused to stay shut. Her driver had offered options: back to her penthouse, the corporate suite she kept on standby, or the Vale Enterprises wellness retreat beyond the city limits. Cassandra had waved him off, said she needed a walk. And somehow her feet, tugged by habit or by something far more treacherous, had carried her straight here. Starlight Diner. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't even particularly clean. But it was open, always open, and more importantly, it was quiet. She stepped inside, eyes adjusting to the warm yellow haze of the place, and immediately spotted her table third from the back next to the jukebox with the broken B key and the window that always fogged up no matter the weather. It was empty, just how she liked it. She slid into the booth and folded her hands on the table, blinking away the fatigue that had nothing to do with sleep deprivation and everything to do with the ache of constantly being everything to everyone. She was tired of being Cassandra Vale, the woman with power, polish, and an entire floor of executives afraid of disappointing her. She just wanted to be Cass for a minute. Just Cass Rough Night. The voice came soft but crisp. Cassandra glanced up and there she was, the same waitress. Midnight shift, always there. Warm-eyed waitress who never forgot her order and never asked what she did for a living. You could say that. Cassandra murmured, clearing her throat. I brought your usual coffee, black toast, whole grain. The woman smiled, setting the cup and plate down in front of her with graceful efficiency. Let me know if you want something less sad. This is perfect, Cassandra said genuinely. Thanks, Maya. The name was stitched into the pocket of her uniform, but Cassandra had known it for weeks now. She just hadn't said it out loud until tonight. Maya's eyes lit up with mild surprise. You remember my name? I noticed things. Do you now? Maya raised an eyebrow, tucking a stray hair behind her ear. Like what? Cassandra took a sip of the coffee, grateful it was exactly the right temperature. Hot enough to burn a little, just enough to keep her tethered to the moment. Like how you always add an extra sugar packet to the table, but never ask if I want it. Maya smiled. That's because you always hesitate before deciding not to use it. Cassandra blinked. Impressive. I like to think of myself as an observant overachiever. Plus, it gets boring around here between midnight and 4. Cassandra let out a quiet laugh, the kind she didn't recognize coming from herself. You always work this shift most nights. Pays better. People tip more when they feel guilty for being up this late. And you? Why are you up this late? Maya hesitated. Same reason as you probably life. There was something about the way she said it. Honest, tired, unpretentious, that tugged at something deep in Cassandra's chest. Do you ever sleep? Cassandra asked. Not much, but I dream well. I don't. That's because you don't stop thinking long enough to let go. Cassandra looked up sharply, surprised by the accuracy. Maya just shrugged. It's written all over your face. Cassandra studied her for a moment. The uniform, the tight ponytail, the shoes worn down by hours on her feet. She was beautiful, but not in the polished, manufactured way Cassandra had grown used to seeing at charity galas and investor dinners. She was alive, present, and Cassandra couldn't remember the last time someone had spoken to her like this, with interest but not deference, with curiosity but no calculation. Do you always psychoanalyze your customers? Cassandra asked. Only the ones who show up at 3 a.m. looking like the weight of the world is sitting on their ribs. Cassandra bit her bottom lip, fighting another smile. Maybe I just like toast. Sure you do, Maya said, backing away with her notepad. Let me know if you need a refill. Cassandra watched her go, watched the easy sway of her hips, the confident grace of someone who had done this job long enough to move like part of the diner itself. It wasn't the first time she'd seen Maya. In fact, she'd been coming here nearly every night for the last month. But it was the first time she'd spoken more than a few words to her. And the conversation had left her breathless in a way no board meeting or a press conference ever had. She stayed longer than usual that night. She ordered a second cup of coffee. She asked about the weird jukebox selections. She listened to Maya talk about her favorite books, mystery novels, and indie memoirs, and said little about herself as always. But she watched. She remembered every detail. And when she finally left, it was with the ghost of Maya's laughter stuck in her chest and a strange sense of warmth in her veins. "See you tomorrow, Cass," Maya had said with a wink as she handed her the receipt. "If insomnia keeps you loyal, it always does," Cassandra replied, voice low. "And I think I'm starting to be grateful for that." Outside, the city was still dark, but something inside her had lit up. Small, faint, but real. And for the first time in weeks, Cassandra Vale, CEO, billionaire, insomnia perfectionist, felt like she might actually look forward to tomorrow. Cassandra returned the next night. She told herself it was for the coffee, maybe the toast, maybe the quiet, steady hum of a space that didn't ask for anything from her. But the truth was simpler than that, more dangerous, more honest. She returned because she wanted to see Maya again. The city buzzed outside with neon and noise, but the Moonlight Diner remained a pocket of stillness in her endlessly overworked world. She stepped through the door at 3:04 a.m. The same tired bell greeted her, and there behind the counter, a rag in one hand and a half-finished crossword puzzle beside her, was Maya. Her hair was down tonight. Messy, unruly, falling around her shoulders in a way that made Cassandra pause for half a second before walking in. "Well," Maya said, looking up with a grin, "insomnia is nothing if not consistent." "Neither is your crossword," Cassandra replied, sliding into her booth. "Pretty sure 6 across is ironic, not idiotic." Maya narrowed her eyes. "Are you fact-checking my 3 a.m. distractions now? Someone has to keep you honest." "I'm devastatingly honest." "You're just trying to show off." Cassandra smiled. And for once, it didn't feel rehearsed. "Maybe." Maya grabbed a mug and the pot of coffee, pouring it with the precision of someone who had done this so many times it had become part of her DNA. "Coffee, black toast on the way, and no extra sugar packet this time." Cassandra raised an eyebrow. "Why not?" "Because last night for the first time you used it." Cassandra blinked. She had. After weeks of ignoring it, she torn it open with a sigh and stirred it into her cup while Maya chatted about some absurd customer who had mistaken gravy for vanilla sauce. "So," Maya continued, "I figured something had shifted. Thought I'd wait and see if you asked for it." "You're dangerously perceptive." "It's a curse or a gift," Cassandra murmured, and the way she said it made Maya pause. Just for a moment. "You always like this with your customers?" Cassandra asked. "Only the complicated ones." "And I'm complicated." "You hide exhaustion behind designer blazers and sarcasm." Maya said simply, "You have this way of looking at everything like it's a puzzle you already solved. But secretly wish you hadn't. And you never stay long enough to get a refill until last night." Cassandra stared at her, heat rising beneath her skin in a way that had nothing to do with the coffee. "Maybe I'm staying longer tonight, too." Maya shrugged, but her eyes softened. "Well, in that case, let me see if I can make your toast less sad." She disappeared into the kitchen, and Cassandra sat there blinking at the empty space where Maya had stood. She wasn't used to being seen. Not like this, not stripped of the armor that came with power and title and legacy. Maya didn't ask about her company or her name or what kind of car waited outside. She didn't look at her like the others did, with hunger for proximity or advantage. She looked at her like a person, and it was terrifying and addictive. When Maya returned, the toast came with a thin layer of raspberry jam and a tiny paper napkin folded into a makeshift flower beside the plate. Cassandra looked at it half amused, half touched. "A napkin rose handcrafted under duress," Maya said, leaning on the edge of the booth. "Be impressed." "I am." Cassandra lifted the toast, took a bite, and glanced up. "This is actually really good." "I'm not just a pretty face and unsolicited insight," Maya replied. Cassandra laughed. Really laughed. A sound that had been missing from her life for far too long. Maya watched her with arms folded, smiling in a way that wasn't flirty or staged, just easy, comfortable. They slipped back into conversation. This time, Cassandra asked more: Maya's favorite movie, her comfort food, her dream trip. "Japan," Maya said without a pause. "I want to get lost in Kyoto for a week. Alone. Just me, neon lights, and 20 bowls of ramen." "You'd go by yourself?" "Absolutely. Aren't vacations better shared?" "Sometimes. But there's something healing about disappearing and not having to explain yourself to anyone." Cassandra nodded slowly. "You're braver than you look." "So are you," Maya said quietly. "Even if you don't see it yet." The rest of the night blurred by in caffeine and low, steady conversation. When Cassandra finally stood, it was nearly 4:30. Long night, Maya said, walking her to the door. Best one I've had in months, Cassandra answered, and it wasn't a line. Maya tilted her head. Same time tomorrow. Count on it. She turned to leave, but Maya called after her. Wait. Cassandra looked back. Maya slipped a sugar packet from her apron and pressed it into Cassandra's palm. Just in case. Their fingers brushed, brief, electric, and then Cassandra was outside, heart racing far too fast for someone who'd barely touched her coffee. In the back seat, she stared at the sugar packet a long moment before tucking it into her purse. She didn't know why. Maybe it meant nothing. Or maybe it was the first crack in a wall she hadn't realized she'd built. It was raining when Cassandra arrived the next time. Not the dramatic, cinematic kind, just a cold, steady drizzle that made the city look smudged and tired. She considered canceling the drive. A dozen emails waited, 2 interviews needed prep, and a board member was holding for her signature on a 9-figure acquisition. But she heard herself tell the driver to keep going. And then she was outside the diner again, peering through fogged glass at the silhouette behind the counter, the one who had lingered in her thoughts longer than most meetings. Maya. She stepped in. The bell gave its usual weary ding, softer under the rain's weight. The diner was nearly empty, one man asleep over a plate of cold hash browns, a couple of college kids whispering over shared fries, and Maya, wiping down a table, humming under her breath. She looked up and smiled. You're late. Cassandra checked her watch. It's 3:14. That's late in diner time. I'll try to be more punctual for you. You'd better, Maya said, grabbing the coffee pot. I was about to start a missing persons report. Or worse, let Tara make your toast. Is Tara here? Only until 4. She left a note for you on the napkin holder. Cassandra slid into her booth, glancing down at the scribble on the small piece of paper tucked under the sugar. It said, if you break Maya's heart, I'll put salt in your coffee. Love, Tara. Cassandra smirked. Your friend is intense. She's protective. Don't take it personally. She just knows I have a history of falling for people who disappear. The words slipped out casually, but something in her tone shifted just for a second. Cassandra looked up. And do you? Maya blinked. Do I what? Fall easily. Maya poured the coffee slower this time. No, not easily. But when I do, it's hard to stop. There was a pause. Quiet and fragile. The rain tapped at the windows like it was trying to fill the silence for them. I see, Cassandra said, her voice softer now. Maya sat down the coffee pot and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Don't read too much into it. Just insomnia ramblings. I think you mean devastating honesty. You're rubbing off on me, Maya teased, but her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. Cassandra studied her, resisting the urge to ask more. It wasn't her place, and yet she wanted it to be. Rough night, Cassandra asked. You usually have that glow. Tonight you're dimmer. Maya let out a quiet laugh, almost a sigh. My mom's back in the hospital. The words landed with more force than either of them expected. Is she okay? She's stable for now. It's the 3rd time in 6 months. Chemo's not working the way it used to. I'm sorry. Thanks. I didn't tell Tara yet. She worries too much. You're the first to know. Cassandra blinked. Me? Yeah. Weird, right? Maya gave a half smile and picked at a frayed thread on her apron. But you're good at listening. You don't rush me. And you never look at me like I'm some kind of broken thing. Cassandra's heart clenched. She wasn't good with feelings. Not her own. Certainly not other people's. But this woman, this warm, fierce, fragile woman standing in front of her was cutting through her like a blade. You're not broken, Cassandra said firmly. You're exhausted. There's a difference. Maya looked up, surprised. That's oddly comforting. I can be oddly comforting when I try. You should try more often. Cassandra offered the smallest smile. Stay with me for a second, she asked. Maya tilted her head. I'm technically on the clock. Then take your break. I don't get breaks. Then make one. Maya hesitated, then slid into the booth across from her. Just 5 minutes. I'll take it. They sat in companionable silence for a beat. Cassandra watched the way Maya's hands fidgeted, how she kept glancing toward the kitchen like she was waiting for the world to interrupt her. But no one came. You know, Maya said, tracing a circle on the table with her finger. I used to think the diner was my whole life. Like I'd never escape it. Then you started showing up and suddenly this place feels like less of a trap. Cassandra's throat tightened. And more of what? I don't know yet, Maya admitted. But when I see you walk through that door, it's like the night doesn't win so easily. Cassandra couldn't breathe for a second. She wanted to say something. Anything. But the weight of those words rooted her to the booth like gravity itself had changed. Finally, she reached into her coat and pulled out something small. Here. Maya raised an eyebrow. What's this? A pen. Fancy one. I noticed you write things down a lot. Thought you could use something better than a diner pen that leaks ink everywhere. Maya turned it over in her hands. You don't even know if I like pens. I just figured it might help. You always bring me things I didn't ask for, Maya said softly. But somehow they're always right. Cassandra shrugged. I noticed things. Maya looked up at her, really looked. And in that moment, the air shifted. The kind of shift that changes the temperature of the room that makes you lean closer without realizing, that leaves you wondering later if something happened or if you just imagined it. I should get back, Maya said, standing slowly. But thank you for the pen, for the break, for tonight. Anytime, Cassandra replied. Every time. Maya walked away without looking back, and Cassandra watched her until the hallway door closed behind her. Then she leaned back in the booth, one hand still warm from where Maya's had brushed against it. Something had shifted. Not everything, not yet, but something. And that something had a name, Maya. The next night, Cassandra didn't come. Maya tried not to notice. She had 1,000 reasons not to care: customers to serve, tables to clean, pies to rotate in the dessert display that no one ever touched. But the empty booth in the corner felt louder than any jukebox melody. She kept glancing at the door as if she could will it open. As if maybe Cassandra's silhouette would appear in that familiar gray coat. Eyes ringed with exhaustion and a wry smile already forming as she slipped into the booth. But it didn't, and Maya hated how much that affected her. She hated how during her break at 3:20, she stared at the untouched sugar packets and remembered the brush of Cassandra's fingers from the night before. She hated how the stupid pen, sleek, weighted, and probably worth more than her entire uniform, sat in her apron pocket like it belonged there now. And mostly, she hated how a woman who'd never even told her what she did for a living had become the highlight of her nights. It wasn't like her. Maya didn't get attached. Not anymore. Not after watching her mother deteriorate piece by piece under fluorescent hospital lights. Not after her father vanished the day the first test result came back. Not after every distant cousin or friend faded the second the bills became uncomfortable to talk about. Maya had built walls. Hiertones. Tara called them her fortress. But somehow Cassandra Vale, who Maya still only knew as Cass, had started to slip through the cracks without even trying. Maya's phone buzzed. It was a text from Tara. Tara, how's your night going? Our rich girl show up? Maya rolled her eyes, typing quickly. Maya, don't call her that. And no, not yet. Tara's reply came fast. Tara, you okay? Maya hesitated. Maya just tired. Mom's scans weren't good today. There was no answer for a long moment. Then, Tara, want me to cover your shift tomorrow? I can. Seriously, Maya? No, I need the hours. She slipped the phone back into her apron and forced herself to keep moving. But as the hours crawled by, she couldn't help the ache in her chest. It wasn't just the stress about her mom or the debt collectors or the sheer grind of scraping through life on tips and cold coffee. It was the absence, the silence of not hearing that voice, the disappointment of the door never opening. But the next night, Cassandra came back. And something was different. She looked tired more than usual. Her coat was damp from the rain, and there was a tension in her shoulders that hadn't been there before. But the moment she saw Maya, something in her eyes softened. Hey, Cassandra said, voice a little rough. I missed yesterday. I noticed. Maya tried to sound casual. She failed. Cassandra slid into the booth, exhaling slowly. Work or something like it. Rough night, rough life. Want coffee? Only if you're the one pouring it. Maya smiled despite herself. Grabbing the pot, she refilled Cassandra's mug, set down the toast, and sat across from her without asking this time. You don't have to explain, Maya said. You don't owe me anything. I know, but I want to. Cassandra ran a hand through her damp hair. I had to fly to Port Alton last minute. Emergency board meeting. You're on a board. Several technically. Maya raised an eyebrow. I knew you were fancy. Cassandra smirked. Is it weird that I didn't want you to know? A little, Maya admitted, but also not surprising. I like how you see me, Cassandra said softer now. Like I'm not defined by all of it. The money, the everything. Maya looked down at the table, tracing a line in the condensation left by the coffee mug. My mom's not doing well. Cassandra's breath caught. You mentioned she was in the hospital. She's getting worse. The treatments aren't working and the bills are getting impossible. Have you thought about starting a fundraiser? Tried. Got maybe $500 before someone accused me of faking her illness for cash. That's disgusting. It's the internet. Cassandra reached across the table slowly, her fingers brushing Maya's. I'm so sorry. Thanks, Maya whispered, then after a pause. You're not going to offer to fix it, are you? Cassandra froze. Would that be so bad? It would, Maya said, easing her hand back. Because then us, wouldn't feel real anymore. I wouldn't think you were doing it to buy me. You wouldn't mean to, but it would still change everything. You'd stop being Cass, the girl who drinks bitter coffee at 3 a.m., and turn into Cassandra Vale, some fairy godmother in a power suit. And I don't think I'd know how to talk to her. Cassandra leaned back slowly. I don't want to be anyone else with you. Then don't be, Maya replied. Just be here. Talk to me. Let me be tired and scared and sarcastic without you trying to fix it. I can do that, Cassandra said. Promise. I swear. So they spent the rest of the night talking, books, coffee, the worst movies they'd paid to see. Cassandra never asked about the bills, and Maya never mentioned how the hospital had called that morning to say the insurance wouldn't cover the next round of treatment. Still, something settled between them, thick and unseen. A truce. A bridge. When Cassandra finally rose to go, Maya walked her to the door. Hey, Cassandra said, pausing before the night air. Yeah? If I wanted to be here for you, really be here, not to save you, just because I care? Would you let me? Maya considered her for a long beat. I don't know, she said truthfully. But maybe. And that was more than Cassandra had dared hope for. It was enough. The booth was empty. The coffee stayed hot too long. The toast never came. And Cassandra couldn't breathe. It was 3:06 a.m. when she stepped into the Moonlight Diner, heels tapping louder than usual on the worn tiles, heart already lodged halfway up her throat. The bell over the door chimed, and her gaze flew to the corner booth Maya always kept ready, table wiped clean, sugar packets lined up like a quiet ritual. Tonight, it sat silent, unclaimed, unwelcoming. Cassandra drifted toward the counter, scanning the room like she might have overlooked something. Tara was behind the bar, slinging orange juice and sarcasm with her usual flair. The instant she spotted Cassandra, her mouth flattened into a straight, unreadable line. Where's Maya? Cassandra asked, skipping the greeting. Home, Tara said. She called out. Is she okay? Tara's brow climbed. You tell me. You're the one she talks to more than anyone lately. Cassandra went rigid. She didn't say anything. Did she look okay the last time you saw her? No, Cassandra admitted. Tara leaned on the counter, towel in hand. There's your answer. Is it her mom? It's always her mom. Tara sighed. Last night she barely made it through the shift. Cried in the back room for 20 minutes. Guess she told you that part. Cassandra's stomach twisted. No, Tara said. Didn't think so. Maya's great at hiding the bad stuff. Makes it easier to survive, I guess. But sometimes Tara trailed off, tossing the towel aside. Sometimes she runs out of room to hide. Cassandra felt it then. That tight constricting pressure in her chest. A helplessness she couldn't stand. She hated being shut out. But more than that, she hated the idea of Maya drowning in something she couldn't reach. Where does she live? Cassandra asked. Tara stared at her. Why? I just want to check on her. You're not family. No, Cassandra said. But I care about her. Doesn't that count for something? Tara studied her for a long moment. Something unreadable in her expression. She's not going to want you showing up like a knight in shining leather. She's proud and scared and exhausted. And the second you cross the line, she'll cut you out. You know that, right? I know, Cassandra said quieter now. But if I don't do something, Tara sighed. She lives above the hardware store on 9th apartment 2B. Don't tell her I told you. I won't. And Cassandra paused. Yeah, if you hurt her, I will salt your coffee every day for the rest of your life. Cassandra almost smiled. Fair enough. 20 minutes later, Cassandra stood in front of a weathered red door, painting, mailbox stuffed with junk flyers. Apartment 2B. There was no light inside, no sound. But Cassandra knocked anyway. Once, twice. No answer. She hesitated, then slipped a folded note into the door frame. If you need anything, I'm here not to fix it. Just to sit with it. Cass. She left the door and walked back into the night, soaked in a feeling she didn't yet know how to name. The next day, she made a decision, one that broke every rule she'd made for herself, one that crossed the very boundary Maya had asked her not to cross. But Cassandra couldn't watch someone she cared about drown while pretending not to know how to swim. By 9 a.m., she had the medical account details. It wasn't hard. A quiet favor from an old friend and hospital administration masked as a corporate donation. The amount hit her like a punch. Hospital bills, chemo sessions, late fees, lab tests, ambulance rides. Maya had been carrying all of it alone. And it wasn't just weight. It was war. Cassandra paid every cent quietly, anonymously, with the kind of precision that came from years of running empires and putting out fires. And then she waited. That night, Cassandra returned to the diner. 3:01, the booth was empty, but not for long. At 3:11, the bell above the door rang, and Maya walked in. She looked like she hadn't slept in days, hair tied up in a loose bun, circles under her eyes. Hoodie 3 sizes too big. But her eyes found Cassandra immediately and they narrowed. You paid them. Cassandra froze. I don't deny it. Maya's voice cracked. I checked. It was you. I don't know how, but I know. Cassandra stood. I just wanted to help. I didn't ask you to. I know. And I told you not to. I know. Then why, Cass? Maya's voice broke on her name and it shattered something in Cassandra. Because I care about you, Cassandra said, voice low, shaking. Because I see you fighting every day and I couldn't stand back and do nothing. Because you matter to me more than I ever meant to let happen. And maybe that's selfish. Maybe it's wrong. But I couldn't watch you burn yourself to ash just to survive. Maya blinked, jaw clenched. Do you have any idea how humiliating it is to have someone sweep in and fix your life like you're some kind of charity case? That's not what this is. It feels like it. Then tell me how to make it right. You can't. Cassandra stepped closer. Then let me try. Maya shook her head, stepping back. You don't get it. You're rich. You don't know what it's like to count every dollar, to ration gas, to skip meals so your mom can have her meds. You don't know what it's like to never ever be allowed to need help. Because if you need help, people treat you different. They pity you or they use you or they think they own you. Cassandra swallowed hard. I don't want to own you. Then why did you take this from me? Because I was scared, Cassandra said. Because I thought if I didn't do something, I'd lose you. And maybe I already have. Maya's eyes filled, but she blinked them away. I don't know what this is anymore, she whispered. Neither do I, Cassandra said. But I want to find out for a moment. The silence was deafening. Then Maya turned and walked out, the door slamming behind her, the bell screaming into the emptiness. Cassandra stood frozen, breathing shallow, hands still outstretched like the words might bring her back. But they didn't. And for the first time in her life, Cassandra Vale, CEO, billionaire, woman who had everything, realized she had just lost the one thing that actually mattered. Maya didn't go to work the next night, or the night after that. Tara covered her shifts without complaining, just kept slamming down drinks and shooting sharp looks at anyone who asked too many questions. But she noticed. Of course, she noticed. The girl who never missed a night, who showed up even when her world was cracking, even when her hands trembled from exhaustion, just vanished. And Cassandra stopped showing up, too. The booth sat vacant, its surface, wiped so many times the laminate had begun to peel. The napkin rose from that one night still sat in the window, untouched and quietly mocking. Tara tried to call Maya twice. No answer, a few texts, no reply. And when she finally got fed up enough to go knock on Maya's door after her shift, it was nearly 5 a.m. and she found her curled on the couch under a worn quilt, staring blankly at the ceiling with swollen eyes and a bag of unopened pretzels clutched in one hand like it was all that tethered her to gravity. You going to keep ignoring me, or should I kick the door in next time? Tara said, arms crossed. Maya didn't move. She paid the bills, Tara. I know, all of them. I figured. She made me feel small. Did she say that? She didn't have to. Tara sighed, stepping in and tossing her jacket over the nearest chair. Okay, let's try this again, but with less melodrama. You're hurt. I get it, but Maya, look at me. Maya blinked slowly, finally dragging her eyes toward her. I don't think she did it to make you feel anything. I think she did it because she loves you and didn't know how else to show it. That's not love, Maya whispered. That's control. No, babe. That's desperation and guilt and fear and maybe a privilege, too. But you know what I saw every night she walked into that diner? A woman who looked like she'd never needed anyone until she met you. And it scared the hell out of her. Maya sat up, face buried in her hands. She went behind my back. She did. And you were right to be furious. But she also never once used her name, never made it public, never turned it into some PR stunt or posted about it on Billionaire Instagram. She didn't even tell me. I found out through the hospital. Quiet, private. She just wanted you to breathe. I don't want to owe anyone anything. You don't, Tara said firmly. Not her, not me, not anyone. But Maya, this girl showed up for you over and over at 3 a.m. with coffee, with pen-shaped gifts, with that look in her eyes like you were the only person keeping her sane. And you think that kind of thing comes around more than once. Maya swallowed hard. I can't let her fix me. She's not trying to fix you, Tara said. She's trying to stand beside you while you fix yourself. There was silence. Heavy. Then she won't come back. No, Tara said, because she's giving you space like you asked. But she's still in the city. I checked. Maya blinked. You what? What do you think I do between shifts? Knit. Tara stood. Get dressed. You're coming with me. Where? The last place anyone with that much money and that little sleep would go unless they had something to prove. Maya hesitated. Tara, you're not going to like this, but you need to see it. ////. It took 25 minutes. 2 trains, 1 coffee. Maya was quiet the whole way, hands shoved deep in her jacket pockets, hoodie up, head low. The sun hadn't fully risen yet, but the city was already coming alive with the scent of bread and diesel and early morning ambition. Tara led her down a narrow street, past a deli, a boarded-up bookstore, and finally stopped in front of a tiny brick building with faded signage, and an open flag flapping weakly in the wind. Maya blinked. Is this? Yep, Tara said. The little cafe on E6. You know, the one you always said you'd open if you ever had the chance. Maya turned to her. What are you talking about? Tara handed her a flyer from the corkboard just outside. Grand reopening, new ownership, Moon and Bean Cafe, specialty roast, artisan pastries, soft jazz every Sunday, and at the bottom in delicate careful print managed by our Maya. Lynn's hands shook. What? She bought it quietly under an LLC, renovated it, hired staff, and listed you as manager only if you say yes. Salary's good, hours flexible, medical benefits included. Maya couldn't breathe. She didn't tell me. No, Tara said. She didn't because this time she wanted you to choose it, not owe it, not feel trapped by it. Just take it if you want it. Maya stared at the cafe, soft lights glowing behind the frosted glass. Inside, someone had placed fresh flowers on each table. A little chalkboard near the counter read, "Good morning, Maya." I'm going to kill her, Maya said harshly. And then I'm going to kiss her. That's my girl, Tara said with a smirk. You ready? Maya inhaled slow and shaking. No, do it anyway. And she did. She pushed open the cafe door with trembling fingers, and the scent of cinnamon and espresso hit her like memory. And there, behind the counter, sleeves rolled up, hair tied back, scrubbing a stainless steel milk frother like she didn't belong in any boardroom, was Cassandra. She looked up, froze. Maya. Maya didn't speak, didn't blink. She crossed the room in 3 fast steps and kissed her. Not softly, not questioningly, but like it was the only way to say everything at once. And Cassandra kissed her back. The kiss tasted like coffee and rain, like exhaustion and something dangerously close to hope. Cassandra didn't move at first. She wasn't sure she remembered how to. Maya's mouth was warm, insistent, trembling with everything she wasn't saying out loud. It was a kiss full of contradictions, grief, longing, frustration, and something that bordered on surrender. And then Cassandra kissed her back with every ounce of hesitation falling away. Her hands found Maya's waist, uncertain at first, then steady. Maya melted into her like it was instinct, like she had been waiting for this. They broke apart slowly, breathing the same air, inches apart. Maya's forehead pressed gently against Cassandra's. Her voice was low, barely a whisper. "What the hell were you thinking?" Cassandra let out a shaky breath, her hand still curled at Maya's side. "I wasn't. Not really." Maya pulled back just enough to look at her. "You bought me a cafe." "I restored a dream without asking because I knew if I did, you'd say no." Maya's jaw tensed. "That's not an excuse." "I know." Cassandra ran a hand through her hair, stepping back, giving Maya space. "I didn't come here to force you into anything. The lease is in your name now. You can sell it. Burn it down. Walk away. Don't tempt me. I just wanted to give you something that was yours on your terms. No strings, no names, no articles in Forbes, just a place to breathe." Maya crossed her arms, but her eyes softened. "Why?" Cassandra's voice dropped. "Because the night I found out about your mom, I felt like the earth tilted, and I couldn't catch you. And I hated that feeling more than anything in the world. I hated knowing you were drowning, and I was just drinking coffee in your booth." Maya was quiet for a long time. The cafe was still, sunlight slowly pushing through the windows like an apology. "You made me feel like I was small," Maya said eventually. "Like I was a project, like I was someone you were saving. I never meant to, I swear. But you did." Cassandra nodded, shame heavy in her throat. "I don't want to be saved, Cass. I want to be chosen. I want to be with someone who sees me exactly as I am and still decides I'm worth walking into the fire with." Cassandra stepped closer again, eyes burning. "Then hear me, Maya. I choose you. Not because I want to fix you. Not because I pity you, but because when I wake up after the 2 hours of sleep I managed to steal, you're the first thing on my mind. Because this," she gestured between them, "is the only thing in my life that doesn't feel like performance." Maya blinked. "And the money? You don't want it? Fine. We tear up the account, hand the keys to someone else, pretend it never happened. That's not the point." "Then tell me what the point is." "The point is," Maya said slowly, "I want a life where we stand next to each other. Not one where I feel like I'm always catching up to you." Cassandra's voice was barely audible. "Then let me step down." "From what?" "From the pedestal. From the image. From all that makes people flinch when I walk in a room. I'm so tired of being her. I want to be me. Just me with you." Maya stared at her, heart pounding. "You'd really give all that up?" "I already did." Cassandra said, 3 weeks ago, I told my board I was stepping back for an indefinite period. No press release, no scandal. I just walked out of the office and came here to scrub milk frothers and figure out if I'm capable of being the kind of person who deserves you." Maya's breath caught. "You did that for me?" "I did that for me. But yes, you were the reason I finally had the courage." A long silence stretched between them. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was loaded, beautiful, dangerous. Maya glanced around the cafe. "You painted it my favorite color. Tara told me she told you everything, didn't she? Enough to know that if I ever lied to you again, she'd poison my espresso." Maya snorted. Then something softer unfolded in her eyes. "You could have had anything, anyone. I want someone who calls me out, who gives me truth even when it hurts, who hands me bitter coffee and makes me wish I liked sugar. I want you." Maya shook her head slowly. "I'm still mad. You should be, and I'm not ready to forgive you completely. I can wait." Maya's eyes glistened. "I don't want to owe you anything." "Then don't." "But I want this. Maybe not all at once, but I want to try." Cassandra's heart soared. "That's all I need." "I don't know how to do this," Maya added. "I've never been with someone who could buy my future with a phone call. And I've never been with someone who makes me question every wall I've built. We'll figure it out together. Only if you say yes." Maya looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. "Okay." Cassandra exhaled. Something breaking and healing inside her at once. "Okay. Okay." Maya stepped forward again slowly, deliberately, and kissed her a second time. It wasn't like the first, rushed and full of adrenaline. This one was slower, deeper, a promise made through lips and breath and silence. When they pulled apart, Maya rested her forehead against Cassandra's. "I'll take the job on one condition." "Anything?" "You work here with me 1 day a week. No suits, no driver, just you, an apron, and a name tag that says Cass." Cassandra laughed softly. "Deal. And you learn how to make a cappuccino without burning it." That might be harder than giving up my company. Good. I like watching you sweat, Cassandra wrapped her arms around her. I'll sweat for you, Maya whispered. You already have. The cafe smelled like vanilla syrup over foamed milk and the sharp sting of espresso burning in a machine that hadn't been cleaned properly in 2 hours, which Cassandra had learned was apparently her fault. You can't just eyeball the milk temperature, Maya snapped, grabbing the metal pitcher from Cassandra's hands with a kind of precision and authority that made Cassandra feel both mildly insulted and completely turned on. It's about feel, not guesswork. I was feeling it, Cassandra argued, swiping sweat from her forehead with the corner of her apron. You were boiling it, Maya shot back. Isn't that the point? You want foam, not lava. Honestly, lava sounds less terrifying than working under you. Good. Maybe that means I'm doing something right. Maya smirked as she stretched the milk just right, then poured with a practiced swirl that left a small heart blooming in the foam. She set the latte on the counter for the waiting customer and faced Cassandra, arms crossed. You're still on dishes. I'm the owner. Technically, I can fire you. You wouldn't last a day without me. Cassandra couldn't argue. She grabbed another mug and muttered, This is the most humbling experience of my life. Good. Now rinse that one twice. You missed a lipstick stain earlier. You didn't tell me that before. Because I enjoy watching you squirm, Maya said, already turning to the register to greet the next customer. And damn it if Cassandra didn't squirm a little. Something about Maya in full barista mode was utterly disarming, the apron, the clipped efficiency, the little curls that escaped her bun and framed her flushed cheeks. Cassandra had closed multi-million-dollar deals with steely grace, but being bossed around by a 20-something waitress she was definitely falling for, that was new, and addictive. The cafe had been open 3 hours, and the morning rush had finally begun to thin when it happened. A man walked in, mid-40s, crisp coat, designer glasses, the kind of polished look Cassandra could spot from a mile away. Cappuccino, he said. Without milk, no sugar, extra dry. Cassandra turned to grab a clean cup, and the man's eyes widened. Miss Vale. She froze. Maya looked up, eyes narrowing. It's you, right? The man said, delighted. Cassandra Vale. Vale Enterprises. God, I've seen you at conferences. My wife's in marketing. Huge fan. Cassandra's throat tightened. She turned slowly. Sorry. You must be mistaking me for someone else. No, he chuckled. You're her. You were on the cover of Forbes last year. What are you doing here? Maya stepped forward, placing the finished cappuccino on the counter. She's our dishwasher, she said smoothly. Amazing at scrubbing pans, terrible at milk temperature. The man laughed, glancing between them. Really? Really, Cassandra said, forcing a smile. Bit of a side gig. Keeps the ego in check. Well, it's working, he said, taking the cup. Tell your marketing team they're geniuses. This is next-level brand humility. He left, blissfully unaware of the weight he'd dropped behind him. Maya turned to Cassandra. So that's what you meant by stepping back, huh? I didn't think anyone would recognize me. You were on the cover of Forbes, Cass. It was one time. Still counts. Cassandra exhaled. I'm sorry. I didn't think it would follow me here. It always follows you. That's not the problem. Then what is? Maya looked at her. Serious now. The problem is what happens when it catches up to you. Are you afraid it'll catch up to us? I'm afraid I'll never get to be just Maya again. I'll be the poor girl who kissed a billionaire in a bakery. You're not the poor girl. No, I'm the one who told you I didn't want attention. And now some guy's going to post about how he saw Cassandra Vale washing mugs in a corner cafe. He won't. He might. And if he does, Cassandra stepped closer. Let him. I'm not hiding. Not from you, but you are hiding from the press, from your world. This place is a bubble, and we both know it's going to pop. Cassandra hesitated. Do you want me to leave? No, Maya said immediately. I need to know you won't disappear when it gets messy. I'll be here. Even when people start whispering, even when they shout, Maya stared at her, trying to read behind her eyes. Why are you doing this? Because I want to build something real with you, not in some penthouse here with burnt coffee and sarcasm and you yelling at me in front of customers. Maya's lip twitched. You like when I yell. I like when you care. I hate how much I believe you right now. I love how much you're pretending not to. They stood there close enough to feel the tension thicken. Maya looked at the half-finished latte beside them, then at Cassandra. "Close the cafe early tonight," she said. "Why?" "Because I'm going to take you home." Cassandra blinked. "Your place?" "Mine's tiny and full of medical paperwork. Yours has a couch I'm curious about." "You want to talk on my couch?" "I want to do a lot of things on your couch," Maya said, smiling slowly. "Talking might be optional." Cassandra's mouth went dry. "What time should I lock the door?" 10. "Can I burn the coffee one more time before we leave?" "Only if you let me kiss you while it boils." Cassandra leaned in. "Deal." Maya kissed her in the back room 15 minutes later. Behind the stacked boxes of syrup, between a bag of flour and the broken mop bucket, hands and hair, breath short, mouths desperate. They didn't make it to 10. Cassandra's apartment was everything Maya had imagined, and nothing she had prepared for. Florida-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city like they owned it. Bookshelves so tall they needed rolling ladders. And a fireplace that looked like it had been imported straight from a magazine spread on luxurious restraint. But what struck Maya most wasn't the marble or the leather, or the quiet hum of climate control. It was the way Cassandra moved inside it. Carefully, as if she didn't quite belong either, as if she was always just visiting. "You live here," Maya said, stepping out of her shoes. "Technically, it feels like a museum." "That's because I don't touch anything unless I have to." "Figures." Cassandra smiled faintly and gestured toward the couch. "Make yourself uncomfortable." Maya raised an eyebrow. "You mean comfortable?" "No, I mean uncomfortable." "You're already uncomfortable. Might as well own it." Maya sat slowly, sinking into the expensive cushions like they might bite her. Cassandra disappeared into the kitchen and returned with 2 glasses of wine. Red deep expensive probably. Maya took a sip and let it roll over her tongue. "You didn't even ask what kind I liked." "You like this kind?" "How would you know?" "Because it tastes like fire and cinnamon. And you always go for things that make your mouth burn a little." Maya stared at her. "That's both terrifyingly accurate and mildly romantic. 2 of my best qualities." Cassandra sat beside her. Not too close, but close enough that their knees brushed. They drank in silence for a while. The city glowing behind them like it was trying to impress them. Finally, Maya broke the stillness. "That man in the cafe, he recognized you in 3 seconds. He won't be the last." "I know. Does that scare you?" Maya stared into her glass. "Yes, but not for the reasons you think." "Then tell me." Maya hesitated, then turned to face her fully. "It's not your money or the press or your power. It's the way you look at me like I'm something rare, like I matter. Like you'd fight the whole world for me. You do matter." "I know, but I've never had someone mean it the way you do, and that scares me more than paparazzi or headlines ever could." Cassandra reached out slowly, resting her hand over Maya's. "I'm not going to disappear." "You might, I won't. People with your kind of life don't stay. I'm trying to build something different now." "You keep saying that because it's true." Maya looked at her, eyes glassy now. "You terrify me." "Good," Cassandra said softly. "Because you terrify me, too." Maya blinked. "I do. You're the first person in years who could destroy me with a single word." Maya's breath caught. "That's dramatic." "No." Cassandra whispered. "That's honest." The silence that followed was thick and trembling. And then slowly Maya moved forward, closing the distance, pressing her lips to Cassandra's in a kiss that tasted like fear and want and too much emotion to name. It deepened fast, urgent, greedy, full of hands and heat, and quiet moans swallowed between breaths. Maya's fingers curled in Cassandra's shirt, dragging her closer, pulling her down onto the couch until Cassandra hovered over her, hair falling like silk curtains around them. "Tell me to stop," Cassandra breathed. "Why?" "Because if you don't, I won't." "Don't stop," Maya whispered. "Not tonight." Clothes fell to the floor like excuses. The couch shifted beneath them, too soft and too structured to hold the weight of what they were doing. Cassandra kissed her like she was memorizing her. Maya clung to her like she had something to prove. Skin mit skin. And somewhere in the middle of it, between mouths and fingers, and the sound of Maya's name said like prayer, something broke. Something healed. Later, tangled in a blanket neither of them had pulled over themselves on purpose, Maya lay with her head on Cassandra's chest, her breathing slow, hand resting over Cassandra's stomach. "This doesn't feel real," Maya murmured. "It is. I mean, I've seen your name on skyscrapers, and now it's on a receipt with your name next to mine." Maya smiled faintly. You're going to get tired of this. Of what? Of me? Of this, of pretending you belong in a diner. I'm not pretending. Maya went quiet for a long beat, then softly. I think I love you. Cassandra's breath hitched, not from shock, but from the way Maya said it. The rawness, the unguarded edge. Say it again, she whispered. I think I love you. Cassandra pressed a kiss to her temple. I know I love you. Maya looked up. You do. I've known for a while, but I didn't want to scare you. Too late. Good. Now you know what it's like. They fell asleep like that. Maya curled against her like she finally allowed herself to rest. Cassandra holding her like she finally knew what it meant to stay. It started with a photo. Blurry, unremarkable. A couple sitting outside the Dawn and Ember Cafe on a rainy Wednesday morning, huddled under a green awning. The woman on the right was instantly recognizable to anyone who followed the business world. The high cheekbones, the unmistakable jawline, the piercing eyes, even behind sunglasses. It was Cassandra Vail, billionaire tech mogul, CEO turned recluse. And the woman sitting across from her, laughing mid-sip of coffee, was no one famous, no one important, just a girl in a burgundy hoodie with a crooked smile and chipped nail polish. Maya Lin. The caption was simple. Is this Cassandra Vail's secret girlfriend? Spotted in Belmere with mystery woman. Cozy and unguarded. Exclusive details coming soon. It went live at 11:23 a.m. By 11:47, it had over 200,000 likes. By noon, Cassandra's name was trending. By 12:03, the cafe's front door was blocked by two paparazzi with cameras the size of small animals. Maya didn't even know what had happened until the third customer of the day pointed at her and said, "Wait, are you the girlfriend?" And then laughed like it was cute. By the fourth customer, Tara had come storming in from the back, shoved the closed for maintenance sign on the door, and locked it with shaking hands. We have a problem, she said. Understatement, Maya muttered, pulling out her phone. There were texts, dozens, calls from numbers she didn't recognize. A few from her mom's hospital nurse, concerned after seeing the news. She opened Instagram. Cassandra's face was everywhere. So was hers. And the captions were brutal. Billionaire beauty and the barista. From coffee girl to CEO's bed, who is Maya Lin? Is she a gold digger or just lucky? Maya sank into the nearest chair. Her head spun. Her chest ached. She didn't even notice the tears until one of them hit her wrist. Tara knelt in front of her. Hey, breathe. I can't. Maya whispered. This isn't supposed to be happening. I know. They're tearing me apart. They don't even know me. They don't matter. They're everywhere. Tara stood already moving toward the back. I'm calling Cass. No, wait. But it was too late. Tara's voice echoed from the stockroom. You need to get down here now. Cassandra arrived 20 minutes later, dressed in black from head to toe like she'd known this day would come and planned her armor accordingly. She stepped into the cafe like a storm in heels, gaze sweeping the space before landing on Maya. Her expression shifted instantly from control to heartbreak. Maya, don't. Maya said, voice hollow. Did you know this would happen? No. Did you expect to keep me hidden forever? I didn't want to hide you. I just wanted to keep you safe. Maya laughed sharp and bitter. How's that working out? Tara cleared her throat. I'm going to go clean something or set something on fire. She disappeared before either of them could stop her. Cassandra approached slowly, hands open, voice careful. I didn't ask for this. I haven't spoken to the press in almost a year. I've been off the radar. Yeah. Then how the hell did they find us? Someone posted a photo. It went viral. I think it was a customer. There's no way to control that. Maya stood. You should have warned me this could happen. I didn't think we mattered to them. We don't. That's the point. They're not after me. They're after you. I'm just collateral damage. You're not collateral. You're the only part of my life that feels real. Maya's eyes burned. Then why does it feel like I'm the one paying for it? Cassandra exhaled. Let me handle this. How? A statement. An interview. I'll go public. Say we're together. No. Why not? Because then I'm no longer Maya. I'm Cassandra Vail's girlfriend. That's all anyone will ever see. I'll make sure they know your name. That's not the point. Maya turned away, pacing the length of the cafe. I didn't sign up for fame. I didn't sign up for your world. I left my world for you. But your world didn't leave you. Cassandra was quiet, then softly. Do you want to end this? The question dropped like a knife. Maya stopped moving. Her shoulders were rigid. I don't know. Tell me what to do. Anything. I'll do it. Can you make them forget me? No. Can you make me forget this? Also, no. Then I guess we're both stuck. Cassandra stepped forward, voice trembling now. I love you. I love you more than I've ever loved anything. And if the price of that is being dragged through the headlines, I'll pay it 1,000 times. But I need to know, are we still us? Maya turned slowly. Her eyes were wet, jaw tight. I don't know who I am in your world, Cass. And if I can't even be me, how can I be yours? Cassandra stared at her like she was trying to memorize every piece. Then I'll give it up. Don't say that. I'm serious. I'll burn it all down. My name, my legacy, the company, everything. Why? Because I'd rather be nobody with you than everything without you. Maya's breath caught. You don't mean that. I do. That's insane. That's love. Silence. Crushing. Endless until Maya finally whispered, I need time. Take it. I need space. I'll give you the whole damn planet if you want it, but don't disappear. Never. Cassandra left quietly. The door closed behind her like a final chord, and Maya, alone again in a cafe. She wasn't sure she could call hers anymore, sank to the floor and cried for the privacy she'd lost, the safety she missed, and the woman she wasn't sure she'd ever be strong enough to hold on to. Maya hadn't answered a call in 3 days. Not Tara's, not her coworkers, and especially not Cassandra's. Her phone buzzed like a ticking bomb on the nightstand while she sat curled in the corner of her apartment. Wrapped in the same blanket she'd once shared with Cassandra on that massive couch back when the world felt smaller. When their love had been private and unshakable, she hadn't returned to the cafe. Tara had sent pictures, flowers piled on the doorstep, anonymous notes of support from strangers, and then not so anonymous ones, too. You're not alone. She's lucky to have you. Don't let the noise win. But the noise had won. Maya couldn't step outside without cameras trying to catch her. Couldn't go to the hospital without whispers and sideways looks. Her mom had even made a joke about it. You always said you'd never settle down unless it was for someone special. I guess a billionaire qualifies. Maya had laughed because what else was there to do? But behind her smile, the ache had grown so deep it felt like breathing through wet cement. And then came the text. Not from Cassandra. From her mom. Turn on channel 7 now. Maya blinked, sat up, heart starting to pound. Her hands moved before her brain did, grabbing the remote, flicking to the local station. And there she was, Cassandra Vale live. Not in a boardroom, not on a red carpet, not giving a tech talk. She stood outside the Dawn and Ember Cafe. Hair in a low ponytail, no makeup, no designer label in sight, just a gray sweater and tired eyes that still somehow managed to glow. The news anchor's voice cut through Maya's chest. In a rare public appearance, Vale broke her media silence to address the viral rumors surrounding her recent relationship. Cassandra looked straight into the camera. I've built companies, networks, and legacies. But nothing I've built matters as much as the life I'm trying to build with one person. Her name is Maya Lin. She's brilliant. She's brave. And she makes a better cup of coffee than I ever will. What started as a quiet friendship became the most important part of my life, and I broke her trust. She took a breath, steady but shaking. I tried to protect her from my world by pretending we could keep things separate. But the truth is there is no version of my world worth having without her in it. So this is me standing in the open asking her to come back. Not to me, but to us. To the booth in the corner, to burnt cappuccinos and slow mornings. To the home we almost had. Maya's throat closed. Her mom reached over and took her hand gently. That's the first time I've ever seen someone with that much money look like they'd give it all up for something real. Maya didn't respond. Couldn't. You love her, her mom said softly. I do. Then why are you still sitting here? Maya wiped her eyes. Because I don't know how to be enough for her. You think she's asking you to be? Isn't she? No. Her mom said, she's asking you to be brave. Maya laughed bitterly. You know what's funny? I thought I was. All those nights at the diner, all the struggles. I thought I was strong. But the second people started looking at me like I was a headline I broke. Her mom squeezed her hand. Strong isn't about never breaking, baby. It's choosing what's worth putting yourself back together for. Maya sat quiet, eyes locked on the screen while Cassandra went on, lifting something into view, an apron. Burgundy cafe apron. Maya's. Her name still stitched across the front. This belongs to the person who returned pieces of me I didn't know were missing, Cassandra said, voice fraying. And if she ever wants to come get it, I'll be here. No press, no cameras, just me. The feed cut to the anchor, clearly at a loss. Maya stood. You going? Her mom asked. Yeah. You want company? No, Maya grabbed her keys. But I'll text when I get there. Tell her I want another slice of that cinnamon cake she brought. Maya's mouth tugged into a smile. I will. The cafe was empty when Maya arrived, lights low, door unlocked. She eased it open, heart pounding loud enough to echo. Cassandra sat alone. No audience, no spotlight. Just her, at the corner booth, apron in hand like it might blink out if she looked away. She glanced up as Maya entered, fear plain in her eyes. You came. You left the door open. Always. Maya stepped inside. I saw the interview, she said. I meant every word. I know. Silence stretched, long and delicate. Cassandra rose, moving toward her, holding the apron like an offering. This is yours. Maya took it, fingers tracing the letters of her name. You said there's no version of your world worth having without me. That's right. Then maybe we don't live in your world or mine. What do you mean? I mean maybe we build something that's ours. Cassandra's breath hitched. Are you sure? No, Maya admitted, smiling through tears. But I want to be. Cassandra stepped closer, voice low. Then let's try again. From the beginning. From the middle. I don't want to erase any of it, not the hurt, not the panic. Not even when you made me eat burnt toast. You liked it. I loved you. Cassandra stilled. Maya blinked. I still do. The next kiss was gentler, unhurried. It didn't taste like fire or urgency. It tasted like home. The cafe reopened, quietly, 2 mornings later. No mics, no declarations, just a chalkboard on the sidewalk, back for good. Stronger than ever. Coffee's hot, heart's healing. Maya lettered it herself. The handwriting wasn't perfect. Cassandra said that made it better, more charm than any font money could buy. Tara rolled her eyes when she saw it. That better not mean you two are making out behind the pastry case again. Some of us are emotionally fragile before noon. We'll try to keep it PG, Maya smirked, dusting flour off her apron. Can't promise anything after sunset. Cassandra, quietly restocking shelves, flushed but didn't argue. She was still learning this version of herself, sleeves smudged with coffee, a streak of flour on her cheek, the one who could unjam a register and scorch milk with dignity. Mostly, she was learning how it felt to be fully seen by someone who loved her with no armor required. She wiped her social feeds, temporary, for now. Stepped down from 3 advisory boards. Pushed her next keynote. Vale Enterprises kept moving. Thrived, even. For the first time in her life, she wasn't the engine holding the machine together. She was just Cass, dishwasher, backup barista. A woman in love with someone more powerful than any billionaire she'd met. Maya, who danced with stress while she balanced inventory. Yet still slipped tiny messages into the foam of Cassandra's morning coffee. Maya, who treated every customer like a friend, who stood taller now when lenses pressed to the glass, who kissed Cassandra before shifts and after like a ritual neither of them intended to forget. But the outside world didn't vanish. Fame didn't lose her number. They were careful, yes, but not hidden. People whispered. A few reporters camped outside the cafe, hoping for a headline. One particularly aggressive tabloid offered Maya $10,000 for an exclusive tell-all. She laughed so hard she nearly snorted espresso foam out of her nose. $10,000? She said to Cassandra later that night, curled up on their shared couch. You paid more than that for a broken espresso machine with character. I was emotionally manipulated by an Italian antiques dealer. You were emotionally manipulated by its chrome finish. Still, the whispers got louder. A local morning show discussed them on air. The CEO and the coffee girl, a modern fairy tale or PR move, and suddenly Maya's inbox was full again. Messages ranging from, you're an inspiration to stay in your lane, gold digger. Cassandra watched her carefully that night, fingers laced with hers on the fire escape, the city buzzing softly below. We can still disappear, she said. Buy a cabin, grow tomatoes, go full cliché. Maya smiled. You'd last 4 days without Wi-Fi. I'd trade 5G for you. You say that now. I mean it. You're my peace. Maya turned to her, eyes soft but serious. But I don't want to run, Cass. Not anymore. Even with the noise. Especially with the noise. She hesitated, then added. Because if we hide, they win. The ones who think I don't belong with you. The ones who only see money and not the million little things that made us real. Cassandra swallowed hard. You belong with me more than anyone ever has. You're the reason I stopped performing. The reason I sleep through the night. The reason I smile when I burn toast. Then let's live loud. Maya said it like a challenge. Let's show them what love looks like when it doesn't care about bank accounts or headlines. Just coffee and closeness and really, really good pastries. Cassandra laughed, then pulled her in for a kiss. And if a flash went off somewhere down on the sidewalk, neither of them flinched. 2 days later, Maya agreed to one interview. One with a queer and indie publication that didn't ask about her net worth, her wardrobe, or her sex life. They asked about coffee, about what made her fall in love, about how she stayed grounded when the world tried to spin her off balance. Cassandra sat next to her the whole time, hand resting lightly on her thigh beneath the table, silent but steady. When the article came out, the headline read, "She served coffee to a billionaire. Now they serve love to each other." The photo accompanying it wasn't staged. It was a candid someone took outside the cafe a week earlier. Maya handing Cassandra a cup with a crooked smile. Cassandra looking at her like she just discovered the meaning of life. It went viral. Not in the scandalous way. In the "this is what love looks like" way. Comments flooded in. They look so happy. Finally, a real couple worth rooting for. I want what they have. And somewhere deep in the thousands of likes, a small comment from a user with no profile picture, just the words, "I didn't know this kind of love was possible. Now I do." Maya cried when she read that one. Quietly but fully. Cassandra held her for a long time. "I'm proud of you," she said. "For what?" "For being exactly who you are in front of everyone." "I'm proud of you," Maya whispered back. "For letting them see the real you." They didn't become influencers. They didn't write a book or sell their story to Netflix. But people came to the cafe from all over. Not for the lattes, though Cassandra's had finally improved. But for the atmosphere, the warmth, the way Maya greeted every person like they mattered. The way Cassandra still burned her fingers trying to learn croissant science. The way they looked at each other when they thought no one was watching. In truth, people watched them all the time. But they weren't hiding anymore. The cafe was closed for a private event. The chalkboard sign outside read, "Back in 24 hours. Today is for love." It was a crisp Sunday afternoon and inside the Moon and Bean. Sunlight spilled through the tall windows in warm gold streaks dancing across polished countertops and fresh flowers tucked into mason jars. The chairs had been rearranged, not for customers, but for the people who had watched Maya and Cassandra build something here. From midnight coffee runs to kiss-stained cups to public declarations that felt like revolutions. Tara stood near the espresso machine, fidgeting with her bow tie. "I still think y'all are unreasonably sappy," she muttered, then grinned. "But if anyone deserves it, it's you, too." Maya laughed softly, smoothing down the front of her cream linen dress. "We tried to keep it small. You invited half the neighborhood and 3 drag queens from Tara's karaoke crew. They're the most important people I know." "Damn right," said one of the queens, strutting past with a tray of champagne. Maya turned toward the back as the door opened. Cassandra stepped in, pausing just inside the cafe. She was in a tailored navy suit, open collar, no tie, her dark hair tucked behind her ears. But it wasn't the clothes that stole Maya's breath. It was the way she looked at her like she was seeing the first morning of the rest of her life. "Hi," Cassandra said softly. "Hi," Maya whispered back. "You ready?" "I've been ready since you poured my coffee with a crooked smile and no patience." "You hated my coffee. I love the way you made me come back for it." Tara cleared her throat dramatically. "If anyone says the words latte art during the vows, I'm out." "Noted," Maya grinned. The ceremony was short. Sweet. Standing between them was Maya's mom, newly recovered and beaming, holding back tears every other sentence. "Love," she said, "isn't about timing or perfection. It's about finding someone who makes the worst days bearable and the best days unforgettable. It's messy and ridiculous and so worth it." Maya slid the ring onto Cassandra's finger with shaking hands. I didn't think someone like you could ever belong in my world. But you didn't just come into it, you stayed, and now it's ours. Cassandra's voice trembled as she returned the gesture. You made me brave. You made me soft. You made me want something real for the first time in my life. I love you and I'm not afraid anymore. They kissed to applause, laughter, and Tara's overly dramatic sobs. Later, as the cafe turned into a dance floor, and Cassandra attempted not to spill cider on her custom loafers, Maya pulled her clothes by the waist and rested her head against her shoulder. Remember when we said we'd never let them define us? Yeah, we did it, Cass. Cassandra kissed her hair. We did. A customer from long ago, one of the first to ever sit at their cafe when it reopened, walked up with a smile. I don't know your whole story, she said. But this place is more heart than any chain could ever touch. Maya smiled. We're not just coffee. No, Cassandra added. We're everything that happens after the last sip. And somewhere between the laughter and the lights, between old songs playing low and stolen glances across the room, between the woman she used to be and the one who now stood in her arms, Cassandra realized something. Love wasn't in the grand gestures or the headlines. It was in the quiet things, the mornings with burnt toast, the way Maya called her out and kissed her afterward, the cafe that became their world. The final cup of coffee they brewed together that night after everyone had gone. Just the two of them in the stillness, hands brushing, smiles soft. One last drink, Cassandra asked. One first drink? Maya corrected, passing her the mug. They clinked cups gently. To us, to everything after. And when they kissed finally, quietly, deeply, it wasn't for anyone else. It was for them, just them. If you enjoyed this content and want to support the channel in a special way, try clicking the thanks button below. It's the one with the heart and $sign icon. With super thanks, you can make a direct contribution to the channel, which helps me keep creating awesome videos for you.